Welcome in, Bears fans. It is your average fan, AJ, here. It is time for your keys to the game for the weekend. We'll also be going over the injury report. And then also I got something that Kmet had spoke about with reporters, something I think that is very interesting. So, of course, Jersey of the Day, Kmet, we got him on. I am feeling all right today. How are you guys doing? Are we doing all right? Everybody survived the first couple days of the new year. Hopefully, everybody's having a good weekend. Well, we'll get right into it. So, the injury report happens to be right about where I thought it would be. We have just a couple of people out for the final game: Elijah Hicks, Travis Homer, and Tevin Jenkins. One's got a calf, hamstring, and an ankle/foot injury. It was pretty obvious that they were going to be out for the final week. So there's really, I don't know, I guess no shocker there. Uh, Kyler Gordon, Roma Dunze, and Larry Borum all had illness-related injuries, and they have cleared. They were full practice, and none of them are listed as out for the game. So Larry Borum will play tomorrow. Odunze will play tomorrow. Travarius Moore will play tomorrow. Scott Daly, Kyler Gordon, and Mercedes Lewis will be suited up. And then again, Elijah Hicks, Travis Homer, Tevin Jenkins are the three that are out. On a side note for Tevin Jenkins, does it seem very likely that he will be getting a contract extension heading into 2025? I say no to that. I think that the way that the Bears are kind of in the corner and how they have to rebuild the front four for the offensive line, I don't foresee Tevin Jenkins being a part of this rebuild. With what you're going into with your draft capital, what the free agent market could possibly look like, and also what you could do with trades. I just don't foresee Tevin Jenkins being a part of that. He always seems to be injured somewhere around the third or fourth quarter. Now, the last couple of weeks, you can see that he has actually been labeled as out. The guy just can't stay healthy and stay in for a whole game or a whole season for that matter. And when you're looking at trying to get Caleb Williams help, uh, you can't afford that question mark on what Tevin Jenkins is right now. I just don't think that that's that would be a very smart investment. However, Larry Borum will make the game, so at least there is some consistency there with having him in the game. You see the dogs back there. But yeah, I just don't foresee Tevin Jenkins being on the team next year. That is what it is. I want I want my team to build the best protection that they can for Caleb Williams because he set the record for sacks in a single season. That's just not allowable, especially with the talent that he has, especially with the talent that Caleb Williams has around him, the weapons that he has. You really need to focus in on this offensive line and just get it right. You really do. So, um, the injury report, nothing really to write home about. Like I said, just the three: Elijah Hicks, Travis Homer, Tevin Jenkins will not be suited up for Sunday's game against Green Bay. Other than that, Green Bay has a few people listed as out and two is questionable. Jair Alexander, that's a big hit for them. Zane Anderson, a hit for them. Um, let's see here. Who else is listed as out? Um, Kawhi Walker and Evan Williams. So they got Brenton Cox Jr. is questionable as well as Christian Watson. Watson would be the big one that is questionable for them. He is definitely a number one target for Jordan Love. So we will see how that pans out. But Jair Alexander being a big miss for them. Although I could, since you already know you're playoff bound, I could understand not really wanting to push that envelope too bad. I could see them not really pushing the envelope on a lot of people that are listed as out. Zane Anderson, Andre Dillard, uh, Kawhi Walker. I could see them not wanting to push that envelope. You already know that you're in. Might as well just give them the extra week to get healthy. That's what I would do if I was in Green Bay's position. So that math's there. Um, before we do the Well, actually, we'll do the keys of the game first. I was going to get into this Cole Kmet stuff, but I will leave that for last so that we can kind of have an open discussion on it. And if it kind of rants on, it rants on. But yeah, the keys of the game. Um, Obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, gonna be kind of it's gonna be basically what I've been saying since the Washington game, because there's really not a whole lot that this offense can do at this point, considering that pressure gets to Williams quite fast. And he's really kind of running out of options. I would say for the offense, just try to keep the game as simple as possible for key number one. Use your check downs if you have to. Try to not keep the play designs too complex because you got to get the ball out quick. That's kind of been, that has been the movie all year for the Bears offensive line. You just got to get the ball out quick on those pass plays. That is basically what's been happening all season because the offensive line just can't block. Um, and alongside that, getting the ball out quick, I would say for Caleb Williams, you have to try to find a way to just let the ball out go. Just throw it out of bounds if you have to. Try to not take those sacks. I know that it is really enticing to try to let a play develop downfield. Try to get a nice pass to DJ Moore or Keenan Allen or Rome Odunze, but the way that your offensive line has performed this year, that's really just not an option. You need to try to get the ball out quick. Take the 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 yards or less when it's given to you. Just take it. It will be there. It has been there all year. You've done a good job of taking those checkdowns or those short plays at times. So just kind of build on that. Obviously, if there is a opportunity for a ball downfield, now that the interception, uh, consecutive throws without an interception is not a worry, do take your shots downfield. I would say that if the opportunity is there, just take it. It's worth um, trying to get timing down with that. Timing has been a struggle for those deep balls for whatever reason, overthrowing or underthrowing to try to not throw an interception. Just throw a contested ball. Just just go for it. Start throwing contested balls against Green Bay. I would like to see it. See what your wide receivers can really do in man coverage if they are on man to man. That's what I would do. And then when it comes to the run game, try to keep that run game balanced. Don't sell out on the run game because the run game will get going, and then it seems like midway through the first quarter or before halftime, we're giving up on the run game way too easy, and it makes no sense because, yes, I know that these plays have been designed to keep the running game on the inside, and we all know that um, simply put, that should be a Roshan Johnson uh, portion that really should not be a DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift keeps getting these play designs to run up the middle, and it really makes no sense because he is not a between the tackles runner. I've been saying this all year. It makes absolutely no sense to be pushing him um, through the middle when his bread and butter and where he makes his money is on the outside. If you can get him to stay on the outside, try to keep the run game and the pass game as balanced as you can, or rely more on your run game because outside of really the last 2 weeks, your run game has treated you fairly well, and there's really no reason to be abandoning your run game when it starts to actually work. I don't understand it. Obviously, we have been a second half team on offense all year long, but just try to keep it more balanced throughout the game. That's what I would like to see. And then again, when it comes to your pass plays, just keep it short, keep it simple, keep your simple working well. But if you do have the opportunity to throw a contested ball downfield, definitely take the chance to throw that contested ball downfield. I would like to see Caleb start taking more of those chances because really I would have liked to have, once you knew that you were out of playoff contention, who cares about the consistent throws without an intercept or the consecutive throws without an interception? I want to see you start throwing contested balls. You are a quarterback. That is what you were paid to do. Just you need to get comfortable throwing the ball downfield. So Bears fans, let me know what you want to see out of the offense in the final week against Green Bay. Can they manage to score in the first quarter? Or I'm sorry, the first half. I would wager probably not. But can we see them put a touchdown on the board in the first half? What do you guys think? Let me know down below. With that, we will go into the defense. The defense kind of struggled the last couple weeks against Detroit and Minnesota. And of course, this will probably be no different because it is another divisional game against Green Bay, who is another very good team this year. However, I would like to say that in the first round of the three divisional games we played quite a bit better against Green Bay than we did Minnesota and the Lions. So I would like to think that maybe we could repeat that again, do a little bit better against Green Bay. I would like to see, again, I don't understand all this two-zone coverage. It's really soft. I don't like it. I understand that most of the league is going that way. But, like, our defense really shows to be playing a lot better when it is a designed mostly man-to-man coverage, especially those downfield passes with Jalen Johnson on man-to-man, and even downfield with Tyreek Stevenson. We see him do better in the man-to-man coverage versus the zone coverage where it's passed off. I just don't like the play design. For whatever reason, the Bears have been heavily exploited in the two-zone type coverage more than any team, it seems like. So I don't know why you would keep doing it when you know you keep getting burned with it. But that's just my opinion. Again, you've done a really good job against these really high quality teams in containing the run game. So I would like to see that. I would like to see that obviously continue. Try to contain that run as much as you can. Try to not allow for the big burst plays. Although we all know that that's probably unlikely because it is the Chicago Bears defense right now. But try to contain that run where and when you can. So obviously those keys are kind of really in line with what's been going on the last like 6 weeks or so. I don't expect the Bears to really ball out this game, but just try to keep yourself in the game. Try to keep it interesting. I think that's basically just kind of what we're looking for at this point to close out the year. I just want the game to be interesting to watch. I think that is actually obtainable against Green Bay. Like I said, the first time you played your three divisional opponents, you actually did the best against Green Bay, it seemed like. So can you do that again, make the game interesting, just kind of end the year on a little bit of a high note? I don't see why that's too much to ask for. And then on special teams, I gotta say, Josh Blackwell filling in, he's done actually pretty well. I would like to see a couple of returns from him. I guess I got really nothing else to say for the special teams other than just try to run one out. I suppose I've been pleasantly surprised by him since getting rid of Velus Jones, and then DeAndre Carter went down injured. So Blackwell's been a very healthy fill-in. I've enjoyed it. And then a key to the game, as the team as a whole, just try to not kill yourself with the penalties. Try to not dig yourself in a hole with the penalties. That's been, a pretty consistent issue. Last week there was a touchdown that was called back because of a penalty, and then it resulted in just a field goal. You got to stop shooting yourself in the foot like that. There's really no need for it. Just try to keep those penalties down, and I think keeping the penalties down just in general will kind of help the offense, but obviously the defense as well. So with those keys, you let me know how you guys are feeling about the defense. What do you think that the final score might end up being? I'm kind of thinking maybe a 14 to 28 Green Bay. That seems pretty reasonable, I think. I don't think that they'll, keep the game within 3 points like they did the first time, but probably a 14-21, 14-28 type game is probably what I'm looking at seeing. I don't see Green Bay necessarily running away with it, but I don't think that they'll stay within 3 points like they did the first time. But let me know your opinions on how you guys see this game going. Um, Let me know what you guys think the score might be, and we will take that from there when we do the after game report on Monday, maybe Sunday. We'll see how we're feeling about it. And then finally, I want to get into something that Cole Kmet brought up with reporters. I screenshotted this on my phone earlier because I didn't want to lose it when I was looking up everything to do the keys to the game. So I will read this. Cole Kmet was asked. Um, Cole Kmet was asked about the culture, which the GM has had no problem saying that culture's not been a problem. But Cole Kmet said we need a culture shift for sure, without hesitating. And then he said, and I know there are a lot of people that get caught up in wanting this hot name or that hot name, but I would hope that the management upstairs would be looking for the best possible coach for the Bears. Um, that coach, Cole Kmet believes, should have an immediate understanding on how to raise the bar inside Hallis Hall, how to establish standards, expectations, and make certain that everyone is on the same page and upholds them. Yes, I could not agree with Cole Kmet more. We had just spoke about this in the last video that I did when I was kind of running down what I thought would be a good option for head coach. Like I said in that video, I've been talking myself out of Ben Johnson just because he's a rookie, or he will be a rookie head coach. The Bears have had two rookie head coaches in a row, both of which did not really work out. And with that being said, I've kind of been talking myself into Pete Carroll. He had a fairly good amount of success with Seattle, winning a Super Bowl. So, with that being said, I agree a lot with what Cole Kmet says. The culture shift needs a change. Whether the guys inside of Hallis Hall want to see it that way or not, it is pretty evident that all the players feel that way. And a big part that goes into this is it's not just how people at Hallis Hall feel when it comes to bringing in a head coach. It's it's really how it reflects on the players, and that's a big part of culture building is how much do the players respect the head coach? How much do they adapt to change that head coaches want to implement? And then also how much coaches want to uphold accountability, how players respond to that. I think it was pretty evident that there was really no respect between the players and Matt Eberflus when it comes to that. Yes, I'm sure that obviously in the media they all backed Eberflus, but I don't really think that the players respected him whatsoever. Especially when it comes to change and implementing new things with the team. It just clearly it never worked. The first 3 weeks of the season, the team just looked like a mess. And even when they got things straightened out, there were still issues with penalties. There was issues where some plays were ran. You were like, "What was that play call? It doesn't make any sense." We saw it clean up a little bit with Thomas Brown when he was the interim offensive coordinator. We saw the offense clean up a bit, but once he stepped in to the head coach and he's on the sideline, it kind of reverted back to what it was before him being the interim offensive coordinator. So obviously, I think that when a captain like Cole Kmet comes out and says something like that, I think that it holds a lot of water. Obviously, in Bears land, upper brass doesn't really like when things like that are put out in the media. They like it to be behind closed doors, but we are well beyond that point. You need to be able to be uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable at this point because you need a head coach that will be a hard ass, that will say what needs to be said to the media, not what Hallis Hall wants to be said to the media. You need to allow your head coach to make the upper brass at Hallis Hall be uncomfortable. That is how you win your division. That is how you win the NFC Championship. And that is how you go and win a Super Bowl. And I think that Pete Carroll can exude that very, very well. I also think that since Pete Carroll has been there and done that, he has been to an NFC Championship game 3 times. He has been to the Super Bowl twice. He's won a Super Bowl. I think that he is the guy that can pull your culture in a complete 180. I think that he is the one that can set the tone. I don't think he's the long term solution, and that also does mean passing up on Ben Johnson. I do understand that, but if you want somebody who will set a tone that a following coach can come in and immediately adapt himself to the system and not have to change a lot, I think that Pete Carroll is the guy that could do that for you. And again, the second part of that, where Cole Kmet said that the coach needs to be somebody who has an immediate understanding on how to do that. I think that Pete Carroll is that guy. I also think that I also think that there are a lot of players that actually are on board with Cole Kmet, whether they're saying it out loud in the media or not. I think that Cole Kmet really has kind of turned into the voice of the team is in terms of the players, if you will. I think that Jalen Johnson is that guy on the defensive side of the ball. But really, and I'm not saying that that isn't Caleb Williams, being that he is the quarterback. I just think that Caleb Williams just doesn't want to put blame on anybody but himself, which is fair. It's valid. I understand it. But when it comes to the uncomfortable questions, I think Cole Kmet is that guy. And I want Cole Kmet to be around as long as Caleb Williams is. I would love to see, Cole Kmet get another extension and he be a part of the team that takes the Bears to the promised land. I think that I think that Cole Kmet says the right things because he says what needs to be heard, not what wants to be heard. And again, I think that as the Bears' search for head coach goes on, and unless it's some sort of game plan that really blows it out of the water, I really hope that it leans towards Pete Carroll. That is just my opinion alone. Um, well, actually, that's also kind of the sentiment of my dad and my brother because we talk about it pretty much every day, and it seems like us as a group, we have all talked each other into Pete Carroll. I think that when it comes down to it, it will be Pete Carroll, Ben Johnson, and a third guy. I don't know who the third might be, like a Mike Vrabel type, but those will be like the three massively different um, personalities when you get down to your final three. I don't know who the third would be, but it would be Ben Johnson and Pete Carroll for sure. That's just the way that I'm kind of looking at it. But Bears fans, what do you feel about what Cole Kmet said? Do you think that he is obviously everybody is in agreement that he's right. We do need a culture shift. But do you think that him saying that means that he has trust in the Bears brass to make the right decision? Do you think that the Bears will actually do their due diligence this time around and actually do their homework? Let me know how you're feeling about that. But with that, Bears fans, we will see what happens tomorrow with the Bears Packers game. We will see what happens with the rest of the games. We will see what the postseason looks like. And then after, obviously, this last week of doing the media day stuff next Monday, we will start covering the postseason, and we will start looking at matchups for the wild card round, the divisional round, the championship round, and then into the Super Bowl. So that's how the postseason will look. If there are Bears news type stuff in between that, we will obviously cover it. We will cover everything in the offseason that we can. But um, we are starting to transition into Cubs land because pitchers and catchers report on the 18th and 19th and 20th. So that's kind of where our content will be shifting to. But we still have a football game to be played. We will be covering that. And then we will, obviously, again, we will cover Bears news as it comes in. But Bears fans, as always, bear down, and I will catch you guys in the next one.